Alright, so before we get into the interview video with Frank, there's a few things that I'd like to address, a few things I want to talk about to give a bit of perspective on where the boat's come from, why I'm here, and how I'm able to do exactly what I'm doing. So this boat was built by my stepfather, Bruce Wright. He built it in the late 90s and she was commissioned in 1999, which is the same year I was born. So the old boy, he passed away last year, and he left the boat to me. And as soon as all that happened, I knew that I had to do what I'm doing now and move forward and take Slahn Je Var where she should be. She should be out here in the open ocean and doing what Bruce built her for. So that's a bit on the old boy and myself. Like, I grew up on this boat essentially. Like, we've sailed to Queensland before. The first time I was 2, and from then on, I've done the trips on it around Tasmania, and now I've finally taken it upon myself to do it all off my own back and do it with some good friends of mine, which I'm having all different crew on board throughout this venture, and it's honestly, it's great. It's so good. The meaning of the name Slahn Je Var, I need to address this. So Bruce used to call her Slahn Je Vars, and that is sort of his interpretation of the spelling or the pronunciation, I suppose, and she's registered as Slahn Je Vars. But the proper way to say it is Slahn Je Var. And the meaning of this, the meaning of Slahn Je Var is cheers to good health. So it's a Gaelic term, and it instead of us Australians, we go cheers. When we have a beer with our mates, we go cheers. But in Ireland, and as an Irishman, or I have met people that do it. When they cheers, they go Slahn Je Var, and it means cheers to good health. And the reason she's named this is because when Bruce was building the boat, he had a mate who helped him build it. He was there just to lend a hand and help out with all the heavy lifting of things. And unfortunately, that mate of Bruce's, he was in hospital, and he was about to pass away just before the boat got commissioned. So in turn, Bruce being Bruce, he said, well, you name the boat. You should name the boat. You've helped me build it. You're not going to see her sailing, so you name the boat. So his mate then said, okay, name it Happy Days. And Happy Days, cheers. He went through a few different things on what, he thought it could be named. And Bruce come away from there and he thought, well, he didn't really want to name the boat something like that in case, you're in trouble somewhere. If, you're out here and something goes wrong and you need a mayday on the radio, if you're saying mayday, mayday, Happy Days, he didn't like how that rolled off the tongue. Like, he didn't like how people could interpret that as. So he went and he did some research and then worked out that he could name her Slahn Je Var. Sorry, there's a bit of roll on out here. And that's where it comes from. So there's a lot of history, there's a lot of legacy behind that. And I think it's quite cool. I think it's really, it's a really nice, complicated name, especially when you're trying to talk about it on the radio. Every single person I've talked to, they want to know what it is, what it means, and I think that's really, really detrimental to the whole meaning and the legacy of this boat, because there's more to it than just a yacht that I'm sailing around Australia and eventually the world, hopefully. It's a legacy. This whole boat is, it started from when I was born. I was born in 1999, which was the year she was commissioned, and it's pretty special. There's lots of things that have happened on here to me that are special and continue to happen. So that's the legacy of this boat. I continue to strive to make the old boy proud up there. And as you can see, and as what you will see in the commencing video of Frank, talking about, you know, the boat and his relationship with Bruce. He impacted a lot of people's lives, and I didn't really understand that until we lost him as much as I do now. So this is all to Bruce. I love him and I miss him dearly, but I've got him with me when I'm out here, and that's why I never want to go. I never want to go back to land. Yeah, so let's have a look at the interview with Frank, and that's just a little bit of a rundown on, you know, on how I'm doing what I'm doing and the name of the boat, and a little bit on the old boy Brucey.
Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name's Frank, and I'm a decky on Slahn Je Var. Well, here I am again on Slahn Je Var, which I always thought was called Slahn Je Var, due to a mispronunciation of the builder and owner, that's Bruce. But anyway, God rest his soul, he's gone now nearly a year, and it's a pity he's not here with us, because it would have been a good trip for him and us and Scotty. I should be home in front of a warm fire, out of the wind, with my feet up watching TV. But no, I've decided to give young Scotty a hand to cross Bass Strait and make it to Eden, and probably put my feet up in Eden. They've just finished running through the safety checks and running of the ship. It's 1800 hours, having a beer, relaxing.
How did you meet Bruce?
Bruce, oh well, Bruce, yeah, we better talk about Bruce. I've known Bruce a long time. I actually saw him build this boat from sheets of bent steel and rods and stainless and bolts and nuts, and I was fortunate enough to actually be on board when he got the mast installed up the Tamar, next to Tamar Bahrain. And since then, we've been off and on this boat together for a few times. He's come up, visited, and I called him a good friend. Yeah, very generous man he was. A laugh, always quick with a joke. But all in all, if it wasn't for Bruce, this boat wouldn't be here, I suppose. Yeah. And Scotty's a fortunate recipient of it, and he's looking after it well, so Bruce will be proud of him. Yes.
Give us a story about a trip on this boat.
Which one shall I pick? Jeez, I'll pick the one where everybody's dead now except me.
It's fine.
Sandy Petrels we went to.
Right.
Yeah. It was Ian Whiteley, Brian Mason, Bruce, and myself. It was a enjoyable sail over there. We were going mutton birding, and we got there the night before, and the Sandy Petrels is north of Robbins Island, and it's just a little sandy, rocky beachy island. But the following morning, shock and horror to everybody, all these speedboats coming out from Montague come to grab their mutton birds. But we'd already done our job, we got our catch. And I remember the trip coming back, because we were punching into an easterly, heading to Wynyard. And I was laying on my bunk, the bunk that I always use, and probably till the day I die will use. And we must have hit this swell real big, and the hatch above the bunkhouse opened up and it just drowned me with the water. Much to the delight of the rest of the crew, they laughing and carrying on, and I was down there drenched in my bunk. So we finally made it to Wynyard, everything was okay. But unfortunately, all those other three people have now passed away. So I'm the only one left to tell that tale. One of many.
Very good.
Well, there's another point I'd like to mention about how Scotty came involved in this boat. Now, Bruce used to take us all out, different crew, every different trip, and anyway, Scotty decided that he started to come along, and Bruce invited him and encouraged him to come along and learn a few more things about the ocean and the waves and the beaches and the seas and the fish. and how to hook your mate with a long line. But we won't talk about that now. And anyway, as the years progressed, Bruce decided to let Scotty have a bit more control over the boat, a bit more say. Even though at times there were a few arguments, but they got sorted out. And I think towards the end, Bruce realised that it was just getting a little bit too old to maintain, work the boat, go on long trips. So then Scotty stepped up and decided to take more responsibility. And I think in Bruce's heart, he said, well, that means that Scotty can competent enough to do the job, competent enough to look after the boat, and he should have it.
Why did you say yes for when I asked you to come over to Flinders and help me sail further up the coast?
Well, to be quite honest, I would have come with you right from last week, but yeah, don't take this. Of course you will. Well, when Scotty decided that he's going to shoot up north, tie all severs from Tassie and go up Queensland, and he was planning and refurbishing, refitting the boat. And he had a date set. All right, everything was ready for the set, and he asked me to come along too. And anyway, I ummed and ahed, and I said, oh, look, I've got too many jobs to do. I can't really justify leaving these jobs at home. And my wife. That's a critical point. I won't talk about her, but anyway, so I declined the offer. Well, it so happened that when Scotty and his crew got to Flinders, they were tied up at the wharf for a week and a half because of bad weather. Well, not quite a week and a half, but anyway, the weather cut in, so they couldn't travel north to Eden, which was the proposed journey. So he was stuck without a crew. So anyway, one thing led to another, and next thing I know, I'm leaving the fire at home and on a plane to Flinders Island, and here I am, again. I'm a sucker, I know, yeah. But I might get a commission from Cascade Stout.
If it goes viral, we never know.
Well, sponsored by Cascade Stout.
Oh shit. So we've just spotted a whale. There's lots of whales out here. Where was I?